everyone, to this month's episode of Queen Age of Wisdom, the life enrichment, power packed life lessons and skills program that will enable you to effectively maneuver around the obstacles you encounter, rise above negative people, places, and things, and soar beyond the reach of the multiple perils of life. If living an interesting, vivacious, enjoyable, and super satisfying life of victory and excellence is your goal, sit back, listen in, take notes, and just allow your mind and heart to be filled with grade A wisdom that will energize your life and help you evolve into the extraordinary you can be proud of at every phase of your human development. As we progress through tonight's segment, Ms. C and I promise to share the best of who we are and what we've learned up to this point in our lives with all of you. So you'll be able to add a few solid gold nuggets of wisdom to your personal treasure chest of life skills to use whenever you need them. Our topic this evening, what's distracting you from living your best life, will inspire you to live the life you are divinely designed, brilliantly created, and born into the world to explore, experience, exhibit, and fully live. So, welcome, Miss C. How are you this evening?
Well, first of all, bravo, bravo. Hallelujah. Okay, so hi, Deborah. How you doing? I am inspired. You done set me on fire. I am on fire.
Oh, so in other words, we don't have to go any further. We can just cut the show and keep it moving with the rest of our evening.
You said it all. It's a done deal.
You know what? You know, this topic is so important because there are so many people who are being distracted by all of the things that go, things people aren't even aware are distractions and are keeping them from achieving their goals and their dreams, and just taking them to places and spaces in their lives that's stagnating them. So that says full of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. And that is so important because you know what? When we allow ourselves to be God guided, we are a whole lot less likely to be distracted in ways that stifle our growth. So, the only thing I can say is, when I started thinking about this topic and writing down things that are distracting, oh my God, I came up with so many distractions that I was like, oh my God, everything in my life is a distraction,
Right?
And I'm like, you know what? The reality here is that if you are going to live the kind of life you want to live, then what you have to do is stay focused. Just stay focused. And I think that that's one thing that I try to do is to stay focused and to recognize when I'm being distracted. What about you, Missy?
We really needed this topic this month, and if it's for nobody else but for me, because I had to do an introspect and some retrospect and some, looking at my life and looking at I am the most distracted person. Distractions lead to procrastination and resistance. So even preparing for this topic, I took some notes and really just at my life, and
right.
What are distractions? Distractions are what divides us, what separates or prevents us from concentrating and following the task to the end. Because sometimes I start here and then I wind up over there and I'll move over here because I get distracted. Sometimes I'll have the phone in my hand and I'm walking to the living room and I put the phone down in the bathroom and I get to the living room, like, where's the phone? And I don't have a phone, right? I don't have
Sounds like my daughter.
right? I don't have a phone in the house to call the number to see where the phone is. So I have to retrack and retrace, because I got distracted. So it's those things that distract us, and it interferes with what we're doing. One of the
Absolutely.
analogies I thought about was the distractions of the city interferes with my studies. So anything that is keeping me from doing what I already set my mind to do, and sometimes it's the hardest ones, like today, right? Today I had to prepare to meet with you, to do the show. And I had to do a lot of different things in the house. So for me to keep from being distracted, do the hardest thing, or the thing that I least likely want to do, but the most important, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to put off putting down a few notes and wait until 15, 20 minutes before I meet with you. I do that first, because I can always get dressed, in a hat, whatever, and that's good, by the way, you wearing that stuff.
Hey girl, yeah, so are you, I was like, okay, I need my hair cut and my barber won't be here till tomorrow. So I said, I'm just gonna throw in this hat. This is cool. And I kind of thought it was cute. So I'm like, hey, cool and cute, that works.
Yeah, you're looking good. Yeah,
thank you, darling.
So it's when I'm busy doing something when I should be doing something else, and I find that that it's what causes me to lose focus. It interrupts the flow, it interrupts the goal, it interrupts the intention. And sometimes it's me. A lot of time, most of the time it is me. But sometimes you welcome that call that's going to come in, but that call is going to interrupt. That it's easily to get sidetracked or off. So the distraction is the resistance, and it can be so subliminal, subconscious, the self-sabotage, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Which is
I so agree
underhanded interference with what I'm supposed to be producing, the production, or with the work, or whatever the thing that I'm in process of doing. And it could be so many things. And I know we're going to get into what are distractions and what distracts us, but just anything that undermines the course of what I'm doing. Distraction is procrastination. So my first name is Distraction, Constance Distraction, Procrastination. So now we got to wipe this clean. So as I was preparing some notes, it'll be some things that it's an antidote also. There's an antidote to it, we don't have to stay in the distraction. So I'm sorry. Now I'll let you talk. I know.
No. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Yeah, but you're so right. But I think as women, it's easy to get distracted because we have so many responsibilities throughout the course of our day. This morning, the first thing I had to do was to drive my grandson to work. And then my girlfriend was coming in on the VIP transport bus, which stops right there at Dunkin' Donuts. So I said, okay, if I go back home, I'll just have to turn right around and come back and pick her up. So I said, okay, I'll just sit here and just wait. So I waited, and then she and I left from there when she got in, and we went to Walmart to pick up some things. And then I had to stop at another grocery store to pick up something. And then we had to go back and pick up my granddaughter who works in the same location. So it was just a full day. And then from there we came on home and just trying to situate ourselves. I think we didn't get back here till maybe 3 o'clock or so. So it's so easy, and it's not necessarily distractions, but responsibilities that we may have that get in the way. And when I started thinking about distractions, I came up with A through T on things that can distract you. And one of the things that I came up with is all the political shenanigans that are going on. People, I think, get so caught up in the politics of life that it stifles them from doing what they need to be doing. Politics is going to be politics, and politicians are going to be politicians. So, What is it we need to be doing? The politicians are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
What about us? We
Right.
need to stay focused, and I think that's one of the main ways to alleviate the distractions in our lives, to stay focused. Oh my God, the wind and everything is blowing out here. I hope I set myself up in a good place and the rain doesn't run me
It'll
inside.
be blowing in the wind.
I'll be blowing in the
But
wind.
the show must
Exactly.
go on. Hey, the
Uh,
show must go on.
the show must go on. I'll just get the computer and I'll be walking with it, but we'll be still going. Okay.
Okay.
Like right now, the weather is a distraction. What's
How
happening
about that?
outside here? You know. So, but B, haters are distractions. And you know what? I always tell people, and we call them haters, but I always say there are no real haters in life. What they are people who just don't understand you, have not taken the time to understand and know you. And so they develop an affinity to not liking you. So, you know, whatever, that's still their issues. We can't get caught up on how other people feel about us. You know,
Right.
What matters most is how we feel about ourselves. Social media is a distraction that definitely wastes precious time. Sometimes, I mean, I'm guilty with that sometimes, and I've gotten better, but sometimes I'll sit on social media all day, you know, back and forth, on and off, you know, not straight. And so, you know, I mean, and then there's so many forms of social media. The only form of social media I do personally is Facebook, you know, and there's others. There's TikTok. Oh, everybody's on this TikTok kick these days. There's TikTok. There's Twitter. There
Instagram.
there's a bunch of them, you know. But if we got involved in every one of the social media sites, oh my God, we'd never get anything done.
Right.
We'd be poor for the rest of our lives because we wouldn't even be able to go out and make some money.
Exactly. Well, I guess we can interject. You'll do a few, I'll do a few from mine, and you do a few from yours.
We'll go back and forth.
We got a list of them, you know. And
me too.
Right, distractions. I would say distractions from what? From staying positive, because it takes work, it takes faith to stay positive. You know,
it does.
If something is going on that's negative, whether it's directly or indirectly, or collectively or individually, just staying positive. You know, that internal place that it's gonna be okay no matter what. So. And the distraction, staying in gratitude and appreciation, you know, because I can look at the problem, I can look at when something is not going right or not going too well, or it's an off day or whatever it is. I can't allow that to just take over everything, because if I stay in that place of gratitude, and we're probably every time we talk, gratitude is going to come up, you know, because that's our fiber, that's our base, our core, you know. So yes, not being distracted from staying in gratitude and appreciation. If I go back to the gratitude, I'm like, yeah, but my legs may be hurting, but I have legs, you know. This may have happened, but I have this, you know, looking at what I have, you know, and not what I don't have. Because the more I focus on what I don't have, the more distracted I am going into more of what I don't have, you know. So distracted from being kind, like finding ways to be kind. If I'm distracted, I can lose that moment or that opportunity to be kind because I'm distracted. So if I'm really focused in, say I'm on the supermarket line and if somebody only has 2 or 3 items, I can be kind. Oh, you go right ahead. Oh no, so you sure? Sure, because this makes my day. This makes me happy. I feel like I've done something that somebody else may not want to do or wouldn't do. You know, I don't.
Right.
It brings me joy to find some way to do some kind of service. But when I see you get up with your computer, I'll stop talking until I see you sit down. Yeah, so, you know, finding ways.
I just thought the wind was ready to knock the plants over on me.
Oh my. Yeah, so finding ways to be kind, you know, to hold the door. Sometimes I look behind me, even though it may not be anyone behind me. But it's those times when I don't look behind me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, you know, because either I was not focused or I was distracted, because I am my brother's keeper. you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it's certain things where I don't want to be distracted from those opportunities when I can be kind. And then
Absolutely.
maybe I'll just add one more. And I mean, I have a bunch, but like we said,
We'll go back and forth until we get them all done,
we'll
or as
shuffle this
many
deck
as
of
we
cards.
can.
Right, we'll shuffle this deck of cards and deal them out, okay?
That's right. Hello.
Right. So yeah, so being distracted from not, I don't want to be distracted from not being there for others.
Right.
You
Right.
know, when I say not being there for others, I mean like missing a birthday or an opportunity for an anniversary, you know, just writing it down on the calendar, or writing it down in a little notebook or something.
Right.
So some birthdays and some anniversaries and stuff you're never going to miss, you know.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
some, it's so many, and especially when you have 3 or 4 of them together in one week and everything, you know.
Right.
So not being distracted from sending a card or a note or writing a little letter, or, you know, the connection, not being distracted that I won't have a connection.
Yeah.
So I think for now, I'll just shuffle that out and
Shuffle
deal
it
you
back
with
over to me. Okay.
it.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. The next one I have is multitasking.
Okay, all
Some,
right. We
sometimes,
mm-hmm.
sometimes we're doing so many things at one time, or trying to do so many things that nothing gets done.
Yes.
And all we manage to do is exhaust ourselves. And so now we got to go somewhere and rest and kind of rebuild the energy so that we can go back to multitasking,
Yes.
and hence get very little, if anything, done. I always tell people multitasking is not a thing that we should engage in on a regular basis. I mean, everybody gets, you know, the kudos for being able to multitask. I used to be at one time in my life the multitasking queen, but all that did was deplete my energy, negatively affect my health, and it really took longer to get things done. So I think that everyone needs to look at this thing called multitasking, and in essence, all you're doing is trying to play Superman or Superwoman. And you know what? We are human beings. We weren't created to be super this or super that. Yes, we have powers that people may perceive as super awesome, but we have to remember that we're human beings and we have to take care of ourselves. And unless we do, we're going to find ourselves in bad health, bad spirits, but just bad energy, and not feel good most of the time. So, you know, I would encourage people to let go of the multitasking, prioritize, and start with the priority, get that done. Move to the next thing on your list, get that done. Move to the next thing on that list. Every now and then, there may be something, we may have to revert to multitasking, but not every day, all day. You know, every now and then things happen, and we have to, I may be in the middle of cooking. And my daughter may call and say, Mom, I can't get there in time. Can you pick up Tristan, or can you pick up one of the kids? Then I have to stop, but I stop, put that on pause, and I go and do what I need to do, get that done, then come back and finish the cooking. You know, so I mean, I think there's a way to do everything that is more advantageous for our well-being, but we've got to stop. We got to stop trying to impress people. Guess what? As soon as you try and impress people, and as soon as you think you have, they flip the script on you, and there you go, trying to impress. Okay, they got a new thing that's required to impress them. So now I got to figure out what that is. Oh, the heck with all of that, you know?
Yes.
Other people's perceptions are also a distraction. Sometimes we become so worried about what other people are doing, what other people are thinking. Oh, you know what? I have to say, thank God for the golden years, because in the golden years, we become so wise. And I was saying to my girlfriend today, I said, you know, it's too bad we don't have the same level of wisdom when we're much younger, because, oh my God, just imagine where we'd be if we were this wise during our younger years, you know? But you know what? It's not designed that way. That tells than the perception somebody else has of us. So, when we love ourselves enough, other people's perceptions really don't. Whatever works for them, okay, go for it. But I'm going to do whatever works for me. And that's the bottom line.
Right, right.
Okay, let's see. Anything that does not aid in the enhancement of the quality of your life is a distraction. Anything that does not enhance the quality of our lives is a distraction. And for each of us, that may be different. So we have to ask ourselves, is this enhancing the quality of my life?
Right.
Or is it just distracting me from getting anything done?
Right.
So it's so important that we recognize that, is what I'm doing enhancing my life or just subtracting from it? And I say at this point in my life, if it's not adding to my life, I'm definitely not down with it subtracting from my life. Okay, I'm shuffling this deck back over to you, girl.
Okay, all right, okay. It's fun. You had said multitasking, so anytime we cross one, we'll make that a bonus. So I'm not even going to say much about it, except that I'm in total agreement because I had multitasking also, and it keeps me from completing either one task or all of them. So yeah. So anyway, moving right along, I said anything a distraction from a schedule, from scheduling, from committing to making a commitment to a schedule or to a list. You mentioned the list also, like if you just write down 3 things or 5 things and just stick to it no matter what, like when I think about taking time for myself, I can be distracted every time I get ready to get on the bike and the phone will ring. Now, why can't I get on the bike with the phone? No, I don't think I want to do that. I want to focus on the bike. I want to focus on the call.
You want to focus.
That's when I can't multitask, right? I want to I want to be able to hear and really listen,
Right.
That could be part of the distraction. So when I take time for myself, if I schedule in, I'm going to take a walk and something comes up, or something, oh, you know what? I didn't get enough rest last night. Well, go to bed earlier. How do I expect to go to bed at 12 o'clock and then get up at 4 o'clock and go for some exercise or whatever? So, just the scheduling, the commitment to exercise, or taking that time. I said, I'm going to put on the music station and I'm going to dance.
Right.
I get distracted. I start doing something else. I start making the bed and doing this and doing that. And I'm, oh, well, it's too late to exit to dance now. And I'll dance in the morning, or some praise dancing, or just some stretching. I said, okay, 30 minutes of stretching. I get so distracted. Oh, I have to cook. Oh, I have to run to the supermarket. Oh, I have to walk MJ. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have all these distractions. Well, when are you going to take your 30 minutes? And you know what I'm saying? And just stretch. Nobody's even requiring that much of you. All you have to do is how about just some stretching? How about that? Take it easy. Nobody said you had to even put weights in your hand. So just that's why this is a good topic for me, because I know I am totally distracted, And so,
I agree with you. Me too.
Right. And so
totally distracted from the things I need to do.
Exactly. Easily distracted. So, just to taking care of myself, because we tend to put everything in others before us.
Absolutely.
I'll get back to that. Oh, I'll do it. Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow, and that's where
I'll get to it.
Right. That's where the procrastination comes in. That's like sisters. You might as well say they go together. Distraction, procrastination. Yeah. So like I said, when it comes time to taking care of myself, and I wind up doing something else, like always putting others before me. And so that can be a distraction when we put others before us.
Yep, that's one of my flaws too.
And then the other one is distraction. Like I make sure that I do my prayer and my praying time early in the morning.
Me too.
If I don't, I have to hit the ground running, because if I don't, maybe I run to that bathroom, but if I should make a phone call or take a phone call, because I get calls very early in the morning, and if I should do that, it can knock that prayer time out of whack. And I'll get it in, but it's not the same. It's not that same focus and intent and
Right.
connection. You know, it's like
Right.
I'm not that I'm doing it as a favor or anything, but it's like it's just a difference. It's an imbalance in it.
Now,
So the distraction can cause an imbalance.
oh,
So I would say
absolutely.
with the prayer and prayer time, meditation, you know, taking that quiet time, it can, if I let it get distracting, I'll say, okay, I didn't get it in at 5 o'clock this morning. Okay, so after breakfast, so maybe 9:30, so I'll do it. Oh, well, now I'm distracted by something else. Something else came up on my watch. So now I'm distracted. Okay, well, I'll do it after lunch. Well, how about I'll do it before dinner? Well, I'll do it before I go to bed. That's all distraction. And it's just a pile up of distractions. Now I got a whole big bin of distractions,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
your whole day has been distracted.
a whole distracting day, a whole damn distracting day.
Exactly. And you know what? I think we tend to be this easily distracted when it comes to things we really don't want to do. Like I keep saying I really need to get back into yoga. I need to do some stretching. I hate all forms of exercising. Except for when I lived in New York, I used to jog and walk a speed walk around the whole reservoir in Central Park, and that whole span of time, it was like 5 miles, and I enjoyed it then. But I don't know. It seems like as I age, and then as my body started doing things like when arthritis set in, when the back challenge got, it's so easy to say, oh, I don't feel like doing that today, or I don't want to do that. But I think it's so important that we be very clear about the things that we're procrastinating with, because those procrastinations are distractions that keep us from doing what we need to do. And I know I keep saying, okay, I'm going to, well, COVID kind of had slacked up here in Pennsylvania. And people, if you've had both, if you've been fully vaccinated, you don't even have to wear a mask. But I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go back into the gym. And then I said, well, I don't know. Maybe those people, maybe there are not a lot of people who are vaccinated. I don't know who's who. I mean, right now, there's a lot of uncertainty that I think is easily distracting because of COVID. And now we heard on the news this morning that there is that this new variant of the COVID is affecting younger people as well, and that it's starting to hit hard in some areas. And they're even talking about everyone remasking. So I mean, there's so much uncertainty right now. We don't know what to do. So it's so easy to be distracted when there's something that distracting in our midst.
Right. So in that case, we have to do the next best thing, which is, like you said, when you used to walk around the reservoir, you know, find a place that you like to walk, or something you like to do that you can do by yourself, whether it's dancing or just stretching, or just getting some bands and just stretching is
Right.
most important. It's very, very important. So
it is. It really is. But I did finally say, okay, I'm gonna go and do the physical therapy that my doctors want me to do. So I've started doing that. As a matter of fact, my next physical therapy appointment is tomorrow. So it's every Wednesday at 11:15. I couldn't do it last week because even though I did show up, I'd had injections in both of my knees. So the therapist said, oh, absolutely not. You cannot. You're supposed to go home, rest, because it takes about 48 hours for the medication to work properly. Right. So you're not to exert yourself during that time. So I came home and I listened, and I got my call for tomorrow's appointment. But I really have to, I think, because there's so many people in my house, that it's easy to get distracted. I think if I lived by myself, I wouldn't be as easily distracted, because there wouldn't be that much to distract me. So, I think that when we realize, and maybe when we get up every day, we need to jot down maybe one or two things we'd like to achieve that day, and then follow that course so
Stay
that,
committed.
yes, stay committed. Exactly. Like you said, and stay committed. There are things that we can do to prevent us from being distracted and keeping us on course, but we've got to commit to doing it.
Right. Well, with you, I'm just going to say this quickly because I'm not here to be a therapist or anything. I'm just for you right now. I don't see that so much as a distraction. I just see it as a temporary situation. Like I had a nutritionist a while back who said to me, when we get your mojo, so we have to get our mojo working again, because once you get that mojo, I like walking, I'm gonna walk 30 minutes. I like stretching, I'm gonna stretch 30 minutes or whatever it is. I think for me,
Right.
I think the least amount of time that I put on, if I say 30 minutes and I do 60, well, that's icing on the cake. You know, if I say
Right.
40 minutes and I do 60 minutes, it's still good. At least I did the 40, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
and so when I
I
think
know.
about, go ahead.
Right. I know when I go to physical therapy, the first day I went, they put me on the bike, and they said, "Okay, we'll start you off with 5 minutes, but if you but we'll work you up to 10. But if you feel like you can do 10, then
You're
to distract
freezing.
me from watching the time." Because
Right,
every time I look over at the time, in 5 minutes, I would have stopped. But because I had something to distract me from saying, oh God, oh, I got 5 more minutes, or I have 3 more minutes, whatever. Sometimes there are things that are positive distractions. So it distracted
right,
me. And so the first time I did it, I did 10 minutes. Well, from that point on, it was 10 minutes. You know what I said? They didn't
right,
say go do 5 minutes. You can do 10 minutes, do 10 minutes,
right, right.
So, in that case, we have to decide what is a good distraction and what is not such a good distraction.
Right. Maybe we
And
can move over to that because I'm still in the distraction. I don't want to jump back and forth. So let's stay right here for a minute, okay? Because I got a bunch of distractions. No, it's not going to be a bunch, but seriously, just a couple of more minutes with the distraction, if you don't mind.
you got it,
Okay,
girl.
so the distraction from projects such as sorting and decluttering and cleaning up and organizing,
Oh,
the projects, those tedious projects, those are the ones that I don't want to do. The praying, the meditating, all that other, the exercise, I can work with that. But that cluttering, decluttering and organizing, I can easily be distracted. I'll pick up a few pieces of paper. I'll pick up a magazine and wind up ripping pages out that I'll never probably look at again. Oh, this looks good. I like this bathing suit. Oh, I like this piece of furniture. Oh,
sounds like me.
you know what I'm saying? So now I got a pile of this and a pile of that. Didn't finish the magazine and have 50 other I stopped buying magazines, by the way.
Yeah,
For the
me
last
too.
couple, I
Me
don't
too.
mess with them, because they
I never get to them.
I know. So that's one thing for me that I get very distracted and wind up with this piles and not doing anything. Distracted from creative projects, like the writing and the painting. I have a friend who's a painter, and right now we're supposed to work together to bookend. When she paints, when she finishes, she wants to complete a painting now for her son, and then she's going to bookend it by letting me know that she completed the painting. And I'm supposed to, whatever I'm reading at the time, complete it, or whatever I'm doing or writing, bookend it and say, did it, check, because it's back to commitment again. So the creative process and the creative project is where I get distracted also, which I'm not going to be redundant here with that procrastination. Distracted from homework, when you have some homework, like, I'm so happy that we're doing this, because when I'm taking notes and stuff, I can't wait until an hour before we do this, because I won't feel like I did us justice, or I did you justice, or I did our viewers justice, so I like to work through it because it's helping me, like they say,
Both of us.
right? The teacher has to be taught before the teacher teaches. And so, not that I feel like I'm
Absolutely.
like that,
and no good teacher, you can't be a good teacher without being a good student.
right, and being prepared, what I'm saying? You can't just
Yeah.
just floating on. I mean, I can
Yeah.
rely on God. I know He's gonna give it to me, but I have to put some effort to it also, some prayer and some quiet time and some writing and some introspect, and wisdom comes from all day long, pieces all day long, little pieces falling in. Yeah, so the creative process and distraction from when it's time to do homework, or distraction when it's time to do some reading. At times I'll get distracted. I say, okay, I'm gonna read at least a chapter tonight. I'll get so distracted if I read 2 pages, I'll at least I did
Me
that.
too.
You too? I'm like, dang, I used to try to read a whole book. Now I'm
Would be probably 1 page.
yes. It seems like it's so chock full of everything. I'm like, what was I doing before? I was speed reading and getting it good.
But you know what, Constance?
Mm-hmm.
I have found that as I age, I'm even more easy. I wasn't as easily distracted when I was younger. I think the brain does something different as we age.
Mm-hmm.
And when my brain is like, okay, not now, then I honor what's going on and just stop.
Yes.
I have to be in the mood to read and process and digest information, because I think on a daily basis we're constantly processing and digesting information all around us. So, I mean, it gets a little overwhelming sometimes.
Right. And I would say distracted from when it's making that phone call, making that particular phone call, like certain phone calls, like you just want to put it off. It may be making an appointment, or it may be reaching out to give an apology, or you're checking in on someone, but you don't want the conversation to be long, or you don't want to be long-winded, and
Right.
those kind of calls, and you just get distracted from doing it, so you'll write the number down over here, and now you get ready to make the call, and you don't know if the number's over here, over there, or wherever the number is. That's a form of distraction, like you deliberately sabotaged
Oh
it.
yeah, absolutely.
Like yeah.
Yeah, a distraction sabotage.
Yeah, how about that? And then certain tasks, the dreaded tasks,
Oh.
which is making an apology and righting a wrong. The ones that I really dread, I tend to get distracted. Any little thing will distract me. Another caller coming. Oh, yeah, hi. What were you doing? Oh, nothing. And no, I was getting ready to make that call.
Hello. You know what? But I think at this point in our lives, one of the things we've learned to do is not sweat the small stuff.
Yes.
We don't beat ourselves up because we didn't get this done or we didn't complete this task today. There's always tomorrow, and maybe we need to push the completion part of the task up to the top of the priority list or whatever. There are always ways to get around distractions if we are willing, and then not beating ourselves up because we didn't get everything done that we may have wanted to have gotten done in any particular day.
Exactly. And then we can get distracted by people, places, things, and then the vices of smoking and drugs and drinking
and alcohol and eating.
and
I got a whole drawer full of
Jamie Foxx's song, "The Alcohol Made," blame it on the alcohol.
blame it on alcohol.
Okay, the gossiping and the
I
gossip.
got this here. That was my next one. You got beat me to it. The gossiping.
Okay,
oh my God.
Not that I beat you to it. That's a bonus. We got gossiping as a bonus, and we got multitasking as a bonus.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean,
drinking, partying, smoking, shopping, the vices.
Yep.
Exactly. They are they're the vehicle for the distraction. But I mean, you can talk about the gossip if you like, because that seemed to be what you the bonus. I think you froze. Yeah, so I was just thinking about the vices.
Yeah, I mean, we have to really, I think everybody needs to sit down and make up the kind of list we've made up. Because when I started thinking about this topic, and what are distractions? And I got all the way to T. I labeled them A through T. And I'm like, wow, some of these are distractions that most people don't realize are distractions. And I'm up to I. So toxic relationships, whether it be with family, friends, co-workers are distractions. Sometimes people come home, they'll spend the whole evening talking about how toxic somebody is. Okay, once you realize somebody is toxic, you move on away. Right. And you get away from that topic, because then you become toxic. Yeah. And it's never good to share toxic energy. Right. So okay, if you realize that this person is toxic or that person is toxic, okay, that's a good thing, because a lot of people don't recognize when people are toxic. And so they get caught up in the other people's craziness. Yes. So avoid toxic relationships, no matter what kind of relationship it is, because not only will it cause you to procrastinate, it also cause you to become so unfocused that by the time you get refocused, you could have spent the whole day, the whole week, the whole month on a topic that had no value. And I think that that's something important. We need to look at everything in our lives and say, what value does this bring to my life? Right. And if it brings no value, then why do it? Right. Right. Exactly. And then you have, I know when I sometimes scrolling through Facebook, I see stories about celebrities and other things that are going on in the media. I don't care. That I just don't care, because if it's not bringing any value to my life, if I can't take it to the bank, right? If I can't take it to the grocery store and get some groceries, if I can't send it to pay a bill, what point is it? Right. So I mean, I think some people just gorge, they just eat up media stuff, everything that's going on with this celebrity or that celebrity, or in the media, on the news, and it wastes so much time. Yes, there are people we care about who may be celebrities, but then it's okay to care about them, but giving a damn about whether or not somebody is getting divorced, or whether or not somebody's had twins or triplets or whatever, okay, good for them, but it's not actually doing anything for my life or anyone else's life per se. Right. So we have to be able to discern what has value to us and what doesn't have value to us. That's so important. Right. Right. Yeah. Go ahead, you go. Another distraction is all the different voices, the voices and the noises, right? Because some of those noises we can work through, but we'll let the noise take us. Like say if I'm reading something and it gets noisy or whatever, I know I can focus and read through it if I want to, but I let it become a distraction, and all of the different voices. The CNN says this and Fox says that and ABC says this and this one says that. All these different voices, that's why I have to go in within, right. that vortex, that inner vortex. What's that voice that's in here? That's right. That inner voice, that higher voice. That's the voice I want to hear, and then absolutely. I can discern all the other voices, where they're not so distracting. Yeah. So I so agree with you. I mean, I think out of control emotions are also a distraction. Yes. A lot of people don't know how to control their anger. Yes. They don't know how to control their wanting and their lack, and they're pissed off because they don't have this, or somebody else has this and they're upset because they don't. I mean, it goes back to the voices in your head too, but to allow the uncontrolled emotions to flip the script on our lives. That's not a good thing. We want to stay focused, we want to stay positive, and we want to enjoy our life day by day by day. And you know what? Every day comes with something, but when we're so distracted, we may miss out on that something wonderful that's in that day for us. That's right. That's right. The missing out. And that's a common thread, that missing out, being distracted. We miss out on this, we miss out on this opportunity, we miss out on that. It just weaves right through it. Yeah.
Also, another thing is the distraction comes in involving others' lives, being busybody in others' lives,
Absolutely,
trying to
absolutely,
control other people's life when we can't control it.
absolutely,
Busy,
absolutely.
busy, and
Busy,
it should
yeah,
be my
all
way,
up in
and
people's stuff.
telling people what to do and what they should do and
Yeah,
how they should do it and what they should have did and all this. That is distracting.
absolutely. It keeps
Distracting from.
people from doing what they need to do for themselves.
Thank you. It's almost like a camouflage, a disguise, like,
That's
let's
what it
deal
is.
with your business so we don't have to deal with my business.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Another distraction is jealousy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, there are some people, they don't want you to have a new pair of drawers. You say, oh, I bought me a new set of drawers and they're just so cute. They jealous because you got a new set of drawers.
They said that the
Get a
person who is
grip.
jealous, they said a lot of times the person who is jealous of you is not that they want what you have. They just don't want you to have
Want
it.
you to have it. Exactly. Ain't
So
that
you
the
said
truth,
it with the
girl?
new drawers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that stems from their hatred. And I always tell people it's not that people are hating us, they hate themselves. And that hate,
Right.
self-hate is transcending into other people's lives
Right.
and coming across as hatred.
Yeah.
People need to get their act together. To love yourself is such a powerful thing, and it helps you to understand other people and love them too, even if you can't do it up close and personal because they may be too toxic, but you're not going to cause harm, any emotional or physical harm to them any more than they're already doing to themselves.
Right. Mm.
Another point is unrealistic fear is a distraction. There's some people who are afraid of everything.
Yes.
They're afraid of, they're afraid of the dark. They're afraid to live alone. They're afraid of being alone.
Yes.
They're afraid of, they're just afraid of everything. And I often say to people, you have to understand the purpose of fear. Fear was designed to warn us when we were in danger. But because people fear so many different things, they don't know when they're in danger because they're just afraid of everything all the time.
Yes.
So, I think it's so important that we put fear in its proper perspective. It is designed to teach us when we are in space that could cause us danger or near someone who could cause us danger.
Right.
I think we have to do a lot of recouping of our natural nature so that we can, really be or live an enriching and empowered. Like people, you know what? People like to say, oh, well, I want to be empowered. Well, first, you got to understand the process of being empowered. You have to first enrich your life. And the more you enrich your life, the more empowered you will become.
Yes.
If you're feeling disempowered, if you're not doing anything to enrich your life, then empowerment is for naught. It's not happening. You may say, oh, well, I'm empowered. Well, okay. Why and how? And if you ask why and how, most people can't answer that. They can't tell you why they're empowered.
Exactly.
And so it's important to understand that fear is not natural when we're afraid of everything. It's only designed to teach us when we are in the presence of some type of danger. Like I used to be terrified.
I'm glad you reiterated that. I'm glad.
Yeah. I used to be terrified of spiders, but I had to understand that spiders serve a purpose.
Right.
And they're not gonna bother me, and I'm not gonna bother them. I'll let the spiders do what they're supposed to do. I'll do what I'm supposed to do. You stay in your. Excuse me.
I still kill them though.
Oh, well, you know what? I still stay away from them. I don't get close enough, and that's one of the reasons why I'm on the front instead of the back. A spider has made a web on the screen, a door leading to the deck. Now, it wants that space right now. You got it. I'll use the front space.
So when I see one, I have a can of spray or I have a shoe, and I see a spider. But when you said
Yeah.
danger, the danger, I thought about that. I said, you know what? When I think about drive, I can't be distracted. I cannot be
Hmm.
distracted when I'm driving, because it could be dangerous, or
Yes,
it could be fatal. There
absolutely.
are consequences, and so we need that same focus, that same clarity, that same intent,
Yep,
that same
yep.
determination to not be distracted in the everyday things as I am when I'm in that car. Because often share, I say my prayer, I say, like that song came out, Jesus take the wheel, people put it into words that we already have right here in the heart.
Hmm.
And I say, you know what, Jesus, you're the pilot, I am the co-pilot. And I'll do that off and on doing, when I pull out, first of all, and off and on doing my driving, when I'm at the red light, because sometimes I have seen people get in an accident, the light is red, but the light behind it somewhere turned green, and they went
Mm.
through the red light and got into an
Yeah,
accident. Because if you just that fast, you could daydream. Just that fast, you can look somewhere.
just that
Just
fast.
that fast, somebody can walk in front of you. You got to be right in it. You have to be in it, present and alert. And so that is certain times you cannot get distracted. And for me, it's definitely not driving, because a lot of times you don't get a do-over. So if we can practice that
That's right.
same principle with driving as
Right.
we do and everything else, then I think I'm going to try to put it to the test starting maybe today or tomorrow. I'm still procrastinating. I'm working on it. That when I start this task, I won't get distracted. I'm not going to answer that phone. I set my clock for 15 minutes to do this. I'll just have to call them back. I won't pick it up.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so I thought about that danger with as far as a car, and it's probably many, not probably, there are many other instances that we cannot
Absolutely.
afford to get distracted. And then I think you were going to talk
A-
about the good distractions. There are good distractions, like for
Yeah.
one of them, for instance, is white noise. For people who have a problem sleeping because they hear other noises, the white noise kind of drowns out all the other noises, and you get to pick, like if you're at the beach, or the hard waves, the heavy waves, the storm, or the rain on the tin roof, or the thunderstorm,
Right.
and the campfire, and all these different white noise sounds that can help people to have a pleasant distraction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so important that we are the orchestrator of those strategic steps that we need to take to minimize the distraction in our lives. A lot of times inclement weather is a distraction. Oh, it's raining, so I'm not going to do that today. I'll do it another day. Well, you're not
Yes,
going to melt. I
right.
mean, we might be sweet, but we're not that sweet. you know,
Exactly. So what you have to do, get out there in that rain.
get on out in that
Put a
rain. You
raincoat
might
on,
enjoy it.
that umbrella up.
Exactly. Put that umbrella up. And I have short hair. So, I always say I have all weather hair. So I don't
Okay.
have to worry about my hair getting messed up,
Mhm.
And since it's kind of naturally curly, when the water hits it, it just curls up anyhow,
Uh,
So
uh,
I'm good.
aren't you blessed, Becky, with the good hair?
Oh, girl, no, let's not even go there. I don't think my hair knew which way it was going to go. And my beautician in New York, when I used to live in New York, used to say, girl, you got 3 different grades of hair. I have coarse
All
hair
of
on
us.
the side,
Uh-huh.
straight hair at the top, and
Uh-huh.
wavy hair, wavy curly hair in the back.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
And, I used to just laugh. I'm like, look, my father looked like he was a white man, and he had straight wavy hair. So
Uh-huh.
I don't think my genes knew which way to go. And then my mother was darker, much darker skin, had coarse, thick hair. So my genes just couldn't figure out what to do. So it gave me a little bit of everything. So,
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
but
mhm.
I'm okay with that. I've learned how to manage it all.
Yes, yes.
Uh, illness is a distraction.
Mhm,
Sometimes we bask in the illness
mhm.
because sometimes there are those people who use illness to get attention.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, they are avoiding taking care of themselves because they're basking in the attention their ill health brings them, rather than trying to figure out how to deal with the health issues or the health challenges they may have. They just bask in it because then they can use it as a device to gain the attention that they want.
Right, right.
Mhm. And I think we covered substance abuse. This is one of my old was substance abuse. And all kinds of substances
Right,
are a distraction
right.
from what we need to be doing, either for ourselves, with ourselves, or whatever. We have to just uh kind of get a grip on those things that stress us out and may cause us to make choices that are not healthy.
Mm.
And when you're not healthy, you're not really happy. So you have to do something. We have to do what we need to do to ensure that we live. I was talking to my girlfriend today when we were driving here, and I said, you know, I decided quite some time ago that I was going to live happily ever after for the rest of my life. And happily ever after is possible. But most people associate happily ever after if they meet Mr. Right. I know in particular for women. I don't know if men say, oh, if I meet Ms. Right, I'm going to live happily ever after. I don't know if men do that. Maybe there are some. But the
Mm.
bottom line here is whatever it is you choose to do. And I said to her, I said, you know what? My choosing to live happily ever after means that I have to make choices that are in alignment with my goal. And that's what happens. People, they want to live, and they got to be realistic choices.
Right,
I can't say, oh, I'm going to live happily ever after, but I do a whole bunch of things that make me miserable or allow a lot of miserable people into my life. We just have to be realistic. And, we, oh my goodness, we've come to 2 minutes before the end of our show today. I
oh,
hope
okay, well, this
everyone,
was a big one. Distractions is a big one.
yes, yes. So, maybe next month we'll share some thoughts on how to keep yourself from being distracted and some strategies you can employ to uh, flip the script or shift lanes when you find yourself being distracted.
Sounds
Because,
good to me.
yeah, talking about distractions is one thing. Understanding what you can do to prevent yourself from
Right,
falling into the distraction hole is
right.
another thing. So,
Okay, so we
I
can
think
do
this,
it. We can continue.
I only got the P. I still have Q, R, S, and T to go. So maybe we'll start in with some of the ones we have left, and then talk about some strategies people can implement into their lives. Because you know what? Knowing the strategies is what's going to prevent the behavior.
Right. I agree. I think that we can do that. We can think
That,
of some
yeah,
remedies and how to contact it. And yeah, that sounds
absolutely.
good.
I think that would be perfect. And so, wow, this hour has gone so fast,
Mhm.
and it's such a beautiful day. I think we're both going to just go ahead. I know it's 3 hours earlier where you are.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
and
going
right
out.
now,
I have a date, so
okay, girl, enjoy. And as always, you guys, thank you for
you
joining
guys,
Miss
yes,
C and I
yes,
every month.
take a heart,
And we hope
yes,
that we
heart,
are sharing some
yes.
tidbits of wisdom that you can apply to your house, to your lives. So, on that note, bye everyone. We'll see
Bye,
you next
everybody.
month,
See you
same
next month.
time.
Bye bye.